Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the students and all the people who want to learn passive voice. I'm Dr. Bhawani Adhikari. Today I have come with the passive structure, active and passive, that is of simple past tense, right? So, passive voice of past tense, the passive voice, right? Past tense is formed with the use of ed or d in regular verbs and the past form of irregular verbs. Regular verbs take ed or d to make it simple past tense, like hear becomes heard, play becomes played. But irregular verbs do not take ed or d to change the verb into the past form, like eat, ate, and then go, went. That becomes so. अब दुईटा हुन्छन् प्यासिभ पास्ट बनाउन रेगुलर र इरेगुलर रेगुलर भर्बमा डी लगाइन्छ या इडी लगाइन्छ पास्ट बनाउनको लागि जस्तै हियरलाई हर्ड डी लगाएर हर्ड बनाइयो प्लेलाई इडी लगाएर प्लेड इरेगुलर भर्ब्समा डु नट टेक डी यो लाग्दैन इट एट इटन गो वेन गन कट 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 यिनीहरू इरेगुलर भर्बहरू हुन् यसलाई पास्ट टेन्स भनिन्छ यस पास्ट टेन्स टक अबाउट द पास्ट इभेन्ट्स पास्टमा भएको घटनाको कुरो गर्दछ पास्ट टेन्सले इट इज युज टु टेल द स्टोरी यसलाई कथा भन्नको लागि प्रयोग गरिन्छ इट इज टु डिस्क्राइब द एचिभमेन्ट्स हाम्रो कुनै पनि उपलब्धिलाई डिस्क्राइब गर्न पास्ट टेन्स प्रयोग गरिन्छ इट इज युज टु न्यारेट द चाइल्डहुड एक्सपिरियन्स बाल्यकालको अनुभवलाई बताउन न्यारेट गरिन्छ इट इज द ल्याङ्ग्वेज अफ हिस्ट्री इतिहासको भन्नुपर्दा पास्ट टेन्स इट टेल अस अबाउट द events that happened in the past, and it does not have anything to do with the present at all except to guide us with the moral lesson of the past mistakes and to follow similar activities if they were good for life in the past. यसले त एउटा गाइड गर्छ प्रेजेन्टमा पास्टमा के भएको छ भने दिस इज वाइ वी युज पास्ट टेन्सलाई प्रयोग गर्छौँ ल स्ट्रक्चर अफ सिम्पल पास्ट टेन्स कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दा सब्जेक्ट V2 मिन्स सेकेन्ड फर्म अफ द भर्ब पास्ट फर्म अफ द भर्ब अब्जेक्ट एक्टिभ भोइसमा यस्तो हुन्छ अब एसपिटी भनेको सिम्पल पास्ट टेन्स सब्जेक्ट वाज वेयर पास्ट पार्टिसिपल बाई अब्जेक्ट चाहिँ प्यासिभ भोइस हुन्छ इज एम आर पास्ट पार्टिसिपल प्रेजेन्ट वाज वेयर पास्ट पार्टिसिपल पास्ट टेन्स हुन्छ राम किल्ड अ स्नेक yesterday evening in the yard of his home killed past verb a snake active voice of simple past tense spt भनेको a snake was killed object a snake by Ram yesterday evening in the yard of his house this is the passive structure of past tense note अब के हुन्छ did not plus b1 is also simple past tense यो पनि past simple past हो subject did not did B1 object त्यो पनि एक्टिभ भोइस हो राइट सिम्पल पास्ट टेन्सको सब्जेक्ट वाज वेयर नै हुन्छ यहाँ पनि वाज वेयर एन्ड पास्ट पार्टिसिपल अफ द भर्ब एन्ड बाई अब्जेक्ट यो प्यासिभ टेन्स हुन्छ सिम्पल पास्ट टेन्सको राम डिड नट इट एप्पल्स yesterday एप्पल्स खाएनन् एक्टिभ भोइस apples were not eaten was did हुने बित्तिकै past हुने बित्तिकै simple past हुने बित्तिकै we use was were in passive अनि past participle was no negative by negative positive by positive did not is negative so there is apples were not eaten by Ram yesterday in a where apples plural हो an apple भनेको an apple was not eaten भन्ने हुन्थ्यो by Ram yesterday had to V1 is also simple past tense and we ought to use be प्रयोग गर्नुपर्छ to change into passive voice in it. Had to V1. Subject had to V1 object. That is past active voice of the past tense. Subject had to be past participle by an object is passive voice of simple past tense. Example. He had to eat apples yesterday. Had to eat. खानु परेको थियो बाध्य गर्नु परेको थियो active voice yesterday and passive apples had to be eaten by him yesterday so it is passive voice had to be eaten if there is had to be eaten if there is have to be eaten has to be eaten if there is have to has to had to and we use to be and eaten with her यसमा have to has to र had to छ भने to be थपेर past participle बनाउने passive voice बनाउँदाखेरि जहाँ पनि अनि कन्टिन्युअस छ भने being गरेर पास्ट पार्टिसिपल पेसिभ बनाइन्छ एक्जाम्पल आइगो सब्जेक्ट वाज वेयर टु B1 object. You past active voice को simple past tense. Subject was were to be, and then past participle and object, that is passive voice. Example, simple past tense SPT means she was to eat apples yesterday. Active voice. Apples were to be eaten by her yesterday. Passive voice. Right? त्यस्तै past continuous tense voice हुन्छ यो ing हुन्छ यसमा being गरिन्छ was were and then being subject was were ing object, that is active voice. Subject was were being past participle by an object, that is passive voice. She was eating apples yesterday at this time. Was eating खाइराखेकी थिइन् yesterday at this time. अनि passive के हो, apples were being eaten by her at this time yesterday. Was were apples plural हो, so were भन्यो, being eaten by her at this time yesterday. This is how we make the passive structure, right? Past perfect tense passive को past perfect भनेको had past participle object नै past perfect tense of past tense active voice. Subject had been, has, have भित्र छ भने has been, have been, had भित्र छ भने had been, passive voice, right? By object, this is passive. She had eaten apples, he had छ eaten अनि apples active. Apples had been eaten by her, been थपेर past participle, that is passive voice. Note, past perfect continuous is not changed into passive. Past perfect continuous पनि चेन्ज हुँदैन, प्रेजेन्ट perfect continuous पनि passive मा चेन्ज हुँदैन, future perfect continuous पनि passive मा चेन्ज हुँदैन. This is the idea of making past perfect tense into passive. तर simple past के हो बुझ्नु पर्यो. V1 V2 object simple past, did not V1 object simple past. Past continuous भनेको was were ing past continuous, had plus V third भनेको past perfect continuous. त्यो सबै एक्टिभ हो. And past perfect मात्र त्यसलाई सबै एक्टिभलाई प्यासिभमा लानु. Was were लाई being with her, had with her लाई had been, and then simple past लाई was were, and then past participle, that is the passive structure. Now English grammar voice past tense exercise. Change the following sentences into passive voice. He played, he capital should be there, capital लेख्नुपर्ने H, my small voice. So he played football. Played is past. He played football. He is subject. Football is object. So how we change? Football was played by him. That is passive. यसको answer, football was played by him. She was writing an essay yesterday at this time. Object कुन हो? An essay. Essay कसले लेख्दै थियो? Was being written, ing छ, being written by her yesterday at this time. I did not see him yesterday. अब him लाई subject बनाउने. He was not seen by me yesterday. Did छ भने was were प्रयोग गर्ने. He had to teach English online. अब English had to be taught by him online. English object wo had to be taught, and it to be सक्यो taught by him online. I was to speak English language in the USA. English, the English language, the English language was to be spoken by me in the USA. Passive त्यस्तो हुन्छ. The English language was to be spoken by me in the USA. The students were taking the exam last year at this time. अब यसलाई के गर्ने? The exam was being taken by the students last year at this time. यसरी भन्ने. अब he called me 2 weeks ago. I was called by him 2 weeks ago. मीलाई I was भन्ने past भएको हुनाले was called यही भयो passive method by him 2 weeks ago. This is how we can make passive structure passive sentences of these active voice. And I think you can just listen more and more. I have even told in Nepali, so the Nepali speakers also can well understand even easily in Nepali language. And I hope it would be good enough, it would be useful for learning grammar, especially making passive voice. And I think it helps the students how to change into passive of simple past tense. I have already given how to change into passive of present tense, simple present tense. So this is simple past tense. And next time I will be coming with simple future tense. And there would be other ideas, other structures how to make passive more. This passive structures I would be explaining in my other slides. Thank you. I hope you will